The emotional toll of male loneliness is often compounded by a lack of safe spaces for men to express themselves. Unlike women, who are typically socialized to communicate feelings and seek support through friendships, men are often left without role models for emotional expression. Conversations about fear, sadness, or vulnerability can feel foreign or unsafe, and many men worry about judgment or ridicule if they share their struggles. As a result, feelings of isolation are intensified not just by the absence of social contact, but by the absence of genuine emotional intimacy. Men may have people around them, family members, co-workers, or acquaintances, but still feel profoundly alone because these relationships lack depth, trust, or understanding. The irony is that loneliness can coexist with physical closeness, highlighting the difference between mere social interaction and true emotional connection. Even in environments where support is available, men may find themselves unable to ask for it, trapped by internalized beliefs that seeking help is a weakness rather than a necessary human need. Social media and digital communication, while often seen as a bridge to connection, can paradoxically deepen feelings of male loneliness. Online interactions are frequently superficial, curated, and fleeting, leaving men with the illusion of connection but not the substance. Scrolling through images of friends, achievements, relationships, and social gatherings can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy or exclusion, particularly for men who already struggle with self-esteem or social confidence. The lack of face-to-face communication eliminates nonverbal cues, empathy, and emotional nuance, reducing complex human interactions to emojis, likes, or brief messages. Over time, men may rely increasingly on digital platforms for social engagement while avoiding or withdrawing from in-person relationships, reinforcing a cycle of isolation that is difficult to break. Even those who attempt to form friendships online may find that virtual connections rarely fulfill the deep, meaningful companionship that humans naturally crave. Workplace dynamics also play a significant role in male loneliness. While employment often provides a sense of purpose and routine, modern work environments can be isolating, competitive, and transactional. Men may spend the majority of their waking hours at jobs that emphasize individual achievement, productivity, and performance over collaboration, emotional support, or social bonding. Networking events, while intended to foster connections, often prioritize superficial exchanges or professional advancement rather than authentic relationships. Men who dedicate significant energy to career success may unintentionally deprioritize friendships, hobbies, or social engagement, further exacerbating their isolation. Moreover, workplace culture often reinforces traditional masculine norms, encouraging self-reliance and discouraging vulnerability. Men may fear showing weakness, admitting uncertainty, or sharing personal struggles with colleagues, leaving them to navigate emotional challenges alone. This combination of high pressure, limited social support, and cultural expectations can create a perfect storm for prolonged loneliness. Family dynamics, too, can contribute to the experience of male isolation. Societal assumptions often cast men in the role of provider, protector, or authority figure, while their own emotional needs are overlooked or dismissed. Fathers, brothers, and sons may feel pressured to maintain appearances, suppress vulnerability, or shoulder burdens silently. Even within families, conversations about emotional struggles may be discouraged or redirected toward practical solutions, leaving men without the opportunity to process feelings openly. Romantic partnerships, while potentially a source of emotional support, can also be fraught with challenges if men feel unable to communicate effectively or fear judgment. Divorce, separation, or the loss of a partner can magnify loneliness, as men often lack the emotional tools or social networks to cope with these transitions. In some cases, men may become socially withdrawn, further reducing the opportunities for meaningful engagement with both family and peers. The consequences of male loneliness extend beyond the individual, affecting communities, workplaces, and society at large. Chronic isolation can lead to decreased productivity, disengagement from social and civic life, and diminished capacity for empathy and collaboration. Men who feel disconnected are less likely to participate in community activities, volunteer efforts, or mentorship programs, limiting their impact on the social fabric. Mental health challenges, including depression, anxiety, and increased risk of substance use, can also ripple outward, affecting families, partners, and colleagues. When large numbers of men experience this isolation simultaneously, societal cohesion and collective well-being are undermined, creating a public health concern that is often invisible but profoundly consequential. The urgency of addressing male loneliness is heightened by its silent nature. Men are less likely to report loneliness, seek help, or openly discuss their struggles, making it a hidden crisis that requires awareness, intervention, and cultural change. Understanding male loneliness requires examining the complex interplay of cultural, psychological, and structural factors. It is not simply a matter of personal failure, lack of effort, or poor social skills. Rather, it is deeply rooted in societal norms, historical shifts, and modern life circumstances. Men face systemic challenges that discourage emotional openness, limit opportunities for connection, and perpetuate internalized beliefs about strength, independence, and self-sufficiency. Recognizing the depth and complexity of male loneliness is the first step toward meaningful intervention. Solutions must address both the individual and societal levels, fostering environments in which men can express vulnerability safely, build authentic relationships, and access emotional support without fear of judgment. Addressing male loneliness requires more than simply encouraging men to get out more or talk to someone. True intervention involves creating safe spaces and cultural shifts that validate emotional expression and prioritize human connection. Therapy, counseling, and support groups can be vital tools, but they must be made accessible and destigmatized, especially for men who have been conditioned to view seeking help as weakness. Mentorship programs, men's circles, and community initiatives can also provide structured environments where men can share experiences, discuss challenges, and learn to navigate emotions without fear of judgment. These settings allow men to practice vulnerability, build trust, and develop the social skills necessary for meaningful relationships. Over time, repeated positive experiences of connection can challenge internalized beliefs about self-reliance and emotional suppression, gradually reducing the sense of isolation that has become so pervasive. Education plays a critical role in reshaping perceptions around male loneliness. From early childhood, boys can be taught emotional literacy, empathy, and interpersonal communication skills alongside traditional academic subjects. Schools that provide safe, supportive environments for emotional exploration help normalize vulnerability and equip boys with the tools they need to form authentic relationships. Media representation also matters. Depictions of men expressing emotions, seeking help, or forming deep friendships can challenge stereotypes and provide role models for alternative ways of being male. Societal messages that equate masculinity with stoicism and isolation are slowly giving way to narratives that emphasize balance, emotional awareness, and relational intelligence, but widespread cultural change remains necessary. Technology, while often blamed for exacerbating loneliness, can also be harnessed as a positive tool when used mindfully. Online communities, support networks, and forums tailored to men's emotional health can offer connection for those who might otherwise remain isolated. Virtual therapy sessions, mental health apps, and moderated discussion groups can provide early access to resources and help men recognize that they are not alone in their experiences. However, these tools must supplement, not replace, face-to-face interaction, as true intimacy and emotional bonding require physical presence, shared experiences, and nonverbal communication. Men can be encouraged to use technology strategically, connecting with like-minded individuals, attending online workshops or seminars, and gradually bridging online interactions to real-world relationships. Peer relationships are particularly important in mitigating male loneliness. Lifelong friendships, shared activities, and collaborative experiences can foster trust, companionship, and emotional resilience. Men who participate in sports leagues, hobby groups, or volunteer organizations often experience a sense of belonging that extends beyond the activity itself. Structured activities provide a natural context for conversation, mutual support, and skill building, making it easier to form meaningful connections. In addition, mentoring younger men or participating in intergenerational programs can provide both purpose and social engagement, reducing feelings of isolation while strengthening community bonds. These relationships, grounded in shared experiences and mutual understanding, act as a protective factor against loneliness, depression, and social withdrawal. Family dynamics and communication strategies are equally vital. Open dialogue within families about emotional experiences, mental health, and personal challenges can create a foundation of trust and understanding. Fathers, brothers, and sons benefit from modeling vulnerability, expressing feelings, and demonstrating empathy, which can break cycles of emotional repression passed down through generations. Encouraging family members to engage in joint activities, celebrate achievements, and share struggles can reinforce relational bonds and reduce emotional isolation. Even small gestures, such as regular check-ins, shared meals, or collaborative projects, contribute to a sense of belonging and mutual care. By fostering these connections within the family unit, men can develop the confidence and emotional intelligence necessary to navigate broader social environments with resilience. Mental health professionals emphasize that loneliness is not a fixed state. It can be addressed through intentional action, skill development, and cultural support. Cognitive behavioral approaches, mindfulness practices, and emotional regulation techniques help men recognize negative thought patterns, challenge self-imposed isolation, and develop healthier social habits. Education about healthy communication, conflict resolution, and vulnerability equips men with practical tools to build and maintain relationships. These interventions, when combined with supportive social networks, create a multifaceted approach that acknowledges the complexity of male loneliness and provides realistic pathways toward connection. Finally, the societal implications of male loneliness are profound. Communities with high levels of male isolation face challenges ranging from increased mental health crises to reduced civic engagement and diminished social cohesion. Businesses, educational institutions, and governments have a vested interest in promoting emotional well-being, as the ripple effects of isolation extend to productivity, family stability, and community resilience. By investing in programs that address male loneliness, societies not only improve individual quality of life, but also strengthen the social fabric. Recognizing male loneliness as a systemic issue rather than a personal failing is the first step in fostering meaningful, lasting change.